everyone. A warm welcome. I'm in a very warm place, so I'm actually sending a warmer welcome than usual. But also just really glad, feeling the absence makes the heart grow fonder, in seeing you all today. Just feeling the distance of not being together every week and shifting to our monthly schedule and how that feels in my body. So really glad and grateful to see you all and to be reconnecting in this way. And I see many of us already typing in the chat. For those who may be new or haven't been here in a while, I'm Antoinette and I'm our host. We have a lovely tiny team for our Women Together Connect. And we love to just start with sharing where we're coming from and what brought us here today. But let's just start with where we're coming from. I think so many have already put it in the chat, so I'll just read a few of those out here. I see, I love this, that we know spring is coming in the Hudson Valley. Sunny and 63 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We like to talk about the weather. It often, sometimes it mirrors our inner state, our inner weather, and sometimes it's an exact opposite. So just being aware and paying attention to how that's happening for us. So I see Tampa Bay, Florida, Philadelphia, Bay Area, California, St. Paul, Minnesota, Winchester, Mass. Some familiar places: Chandler, Arizona, high of 74 degrees. Florida, rainy but mild Toronto. Near Boston, sunny, lovely Felton. Santa Clara, California. Bogota, Colombia. Hastings on Hudson, Westchester. Brattleboro, Vermont. Spring Lake, Victoria, BC. San Diego. Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey. Seattle, Washington. Wonderful. We are really coming in from all over today. So a warm welcome to all. Warm Connecticut. Yeah, it's just so good to be together. And today is a little bit of a special day. We get to do a heart check-in. And I think really that's the goal of our Connect session in general. But especially as we've been moving into this once monthly moment, it's an opportunity to just slow down and to connect in with the heart. So much of us spend our time in this Zoom space, or even just when we're in conversation with people, even just with our own lung capacity. We breathe, generally, the United States, we breathe with the top 10% of our lungs. We're not even really taking in the fullness of our full lung capacity. So even just slowing down enough for this hour to come into connection and shared space together and just breathing into the full capacity of our lungs does something. It really does connect. And I was speaking with somebody who does breath work, really deep breath work, the other day, and she said, we just go vulnerable so quickly because we're breathing, we're moving into the depth of our breath. So just a reminder that even if we just do that for an hour together, we'd be accomplishing something. We'd be doing the thing. And partly what we're doing is actually shifting our awareness from what can I produce, what can I do next, to who am I, what am I being here on planet Earth. So just for this moment, connecting with our being rather than our doing. So that's a little bit of Women Together and how it feels to reconnect here. So wherever you may be, I'd like to just invite you to land here. I don't know if you can hear, but there are some chimes and a breeze happening over here. So I hope that translates to you in this little moment. We'll take a moment of stillness. And wherever you may be, whether it's with chimes and a breeze, or it's, in the still slightly cold winter spaces where the daffodils are just beginning to bud, wherever you may be, you can find your feet on the ground and just feel a sense of connection of the feet to the earth. Sometimes if you put your hands on your on the space just above your knees, on your quads, on your thighs. If you push down just a little bit, push down a little bit, you can come up in the spine. So pushing down in the knees, pushing down into the earth. And it reminds us that rooting down is what allows us to rise up. It feels counterintuitive sometimes, but rooting down, feeling the push against something allows us to lift up, allows us to find more space to breathe. And with that space, just filling the lungs, deepening the breath. And exhaling out completely. And we'll do that 2 more times, just filling the lungs, filling the breath. And exhaling out completely. And 1 more time, filling the lungs. Inhaling fully. And exhaling out completely. And then just following that inhale and exhale and the natural breath, not forcing anything, not trying to deepen purposefully. Just being with the natural breath. And you can lower your gaze or close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. Just softening our focus, softening our gaze. And letting go of anything that may have come before this moment. Embracing not knowing what will come next. And just being fully here. When you're ready, you can just in a brief word or phrase, tune into what brought me here today. Perhaps it was just the email that came in. Perhaps it was a friend. Perhaps it was some other inspiration, but just being with what was my deeper intention? What brought me here? And then if there is a word or a phrase that you'd like to share, you can type that into the chat. And we'll just see what our collective intention is. That we may individually have ideas of what brings us here, and then all of a sudden we see all of the different points that we're each coming from. So I see a reconnect, community, compassion, to be able to breathe. We have a few really deep ones here. So community, and then connecting to heart space after cancer remission. Thank you for sharing that. And then another, I have aphasia and lost my communication and language. I have grief. So just being with the deep, difficult things that some of us may be holding, and remembering that we don't necessarily know what anyone is going through. I think that's been my big 2024 takeaway that so far, that we never know. You know, we never know what someone may be recovering from, going through, experiencing in the moment. So just allowing ourselves to have compassion for each other, also returning to life after a tough year with a broken leg. So good to join this group again. Wonderful. Yeah, and I think a lot of us yearn for community, whether it is this kind of location-based community or this beautiful Zoom community that we've created, this Sangha, this space for a deepening of our own connection with ourselves, this deep, powerful connection that we know we can have and don't always do, or take time to practice. And then the connection with each other and connecting beyond, oh, hey, who are you? What do you do? And someone says their name and they're, oh, I did this, I was a teacher, da da da. And it's all beautiful. But when we go deeper with our own human experience and our own connection, we find that there's another layer of what it means to be human, what it means to be woman, that we can find when we connect with each other more deeply. So thank you for sharing this, and we will allow ourselves to be with the grief and allow ourselves to be with the recovery and be with these moments together, that sometimes we have to not give our bodies time and space to deal with it because it's not easy, whatever it is we're going through. So thank you for sharing. And what I'd love to do is we'll just do a couple more practices. We did 2 little tiny practices just now. We did a little breath work and a little moment of stillness. And that's just, lightly touching the surface. These are things that you can take into your own lives. And in any given moment, you can take 3 deep breaths and something will change in the body. Or you take a moment of stillness and just allow yourself to be fully here, letting go of anything that happened before. And that can completely change. If I'm in a conversation with my husband, or if I'm in a conversation with my mother, to allow myself the moment to just deepen and reconnect what I'm actually here for, with what is, not judging from my experience of the past or what the future may bring, just being with what is. So those 2 practices can be incredibly helpful. And then today we'll just do another couple of practices, and so we'll do a little heart connection, heart check-in practice, and some journaling, and then we will turn to each other, which is the most lovely part, and where we do definitely get to connect and share in community with each other. We will turn and talk to each other. So if you're on YouTube, it's wonderful to have you there. You'll journal and you'll do your own work in space. And if you're here in Zoom, we'll be able to turn to each other in breakouts and get to know each other a little better and share on this slightly deeper plane than maybe we get to on a regular basis. So that's the plan for today in the next 45 minutes. And what I'd love to do is just make sure that you have a journal nearby, something that you could just write in when we get to it. And then wherever you are, I'd like to invite you to come back to that meditation space that we got started. So come back to that space of the interior space. And we'll just do a little presencing practice and deepen our own connection and sense of the space around the heart. So wherever you are, if you can reconnect to the ground, to the space below you, and also just recognizing that wherever you are, there may be ancestors who have walked this earth, who have walked this place, and just feeling into that for a moment, this place where people have lived their lives and birthed their babies and gotten sick and had moments of joy and health and family connection, wherever you may be. Perhaps the wind is blowing, or the birds are chirping, or the soil is just making space for the new life wanting to push through. If you haven't already, you can lower your gaze or close your eyes and just connect into the ground, connect into a sense of groundedness. feeling rooted in place, feeling the stability of the lower parts of your body, feeling the feet, almost as if you could send roots from your feet down into the earth, feeling sense of ground. And then on the next exhale, so we might want to inhale, and on the next exhale, feeling the breath and the awareness and the attention moving up the legs, up the spine, up the back, the crown of the head, and out the top of the head, exhaling all the way out completely. And connecting with that space just above the head, bringing the awareness and the attention to the space just above the crown of the head, the space we call sky. The space is open and everything is possible. It is expansive, it is wide. And being a human being that is both rooted and connected to the earth, and through the breath, connecting to the inherent space of possibility. Being a human that is both connected to earth and sky. Perhaps you feel a sense of lightness in your being, and perhaps a sense of groundedness, and just noticing if you can allow yourself to be swayed with the trees and the wind, have a lightness, and also be rooted. Feeling the difference between those two sensations. And then bringing the awareness in the space, awareness to the space around the heart. So one chant in yoga that you can use in your mind's eye or just silently to yourself, or if you want to do it out loud, but just chanting yum, yum, as if something tasty is happening, but just that that word, that phrase actually opens the heart. Yum. It's different than the om sound. It's different than a hum sound. The yum sound. And the heart has a lot less words than the mind. The heart has sensation. The heart has feeling. So just connecting to your feeling space today. And just noticing. It may be that you were walking around this morning super joyful and you find that there's actually some deep sadness that's sitting on the heart. You don't need to know why any of these emotions are there. Could be the opposite, that you were walking around with a lot of grief today and you find that your heart is inherently carrying this joy. So just being with what is, not trying to fix or change, just noticing the feeling. Maybe not even trying to name this is joy, this is sadness, just being with the experience. And perhaps it's pure sensation. Perhaps there are words. Perhaps the heart has a sound or a message for you. Just checking in with the heart. How is my heart today? Perhaps there's clarity or cloudiness. Could be a couple of words that start to form. And in the space around the heart, we find things that we care about. So just for a moment, perhaps there's a person or a being or a plant that you're caring about today, that you're just that you've tucked in your heart, that you've just spent a little bit of your own space caring about this being or this experience. When you're ready, if you do have a journal nearby, you can connect with that paper and pen. Often, the way to allow the heart space to articulate is to move the body, to move the hands. So, to actually feel the hand on the paper can be very helpful. So, just putting the pen to paper and asking yourself, how is my heart today? How is my heart? And then what is it that I'm caring about? So, what is, whether I meant to or not, what is sitting in my heart? What has a little piece of my heart right now? What am I caring about? Caring can also be carrying. In some way, I'm carrying these people or this thing in my heart. Thank you, Marcia. Lovely. So, what are you caring about today? And then perhaps for a moment tuning in, who or what is caring about me? Who or what may be holding me in their heart? Thank you, Lisa. And in just a couple moments, we will turn to each other. But if there's anything else, any feeling or sense or reminder that you want to leave yourself now of this little experience that we had, just writing that down in your journal, writing that down in your notes. And then we will turn to each other in breakout rooms, just small groups, and we'll share with each other our name, where we're coming from today, and anything that wants to be shared. You do not need to share anything that we've journaled about. You do not need to go into all the depths of the universe in this short conversation, but you will have 20 minutes. So you can just modulate the time, making sure that everyone gets a chance to speak and share a bit and practice just deeply listening to each other. We're not here to broadcast something. We're really just here to listen and to be together and to see what comes up. So enjoy the time together. We'll be back in about 20 minutes. If you're on YouTube, we'll see you next month. So thank you all, and we'll be back in Zoom in 20 minutes. So enjoy the time, have fun together, enjoy the magic of being together.